To create bean factory container, okay, it is not recommended to use XML bean factory class. XML bean factory class because of the following limitations. Because of the following limitations. The limitations are this the class is deprecated. The class is deprecated from Spring 3.1 version. Okay, that means may be removed. May be removed. Deprecated means not removed, guys. They are planning to remove. May be removed from Spring API in future. May be removed from Spring API in future. Right, guys. Next one. Okay. Does not allow to pass Spring Bean configuration file directly as string value. We need to pass as the resource object. Yes, na boss? We need to pass it as a resource object. That's why we discussed about class path, resource, file system, resource, all this stuff. Are we able to pass it as a direct string value, guys? No. Next, C. C. Does not allow to pass multiple Spring Bean configuration files at a time. Does not allow to pass multiple Spring Bean configuration files at a time, guys. Right, boss. Multiple Spring Bean configuration files at a time. Okay, you only see the docs, guys. XML bean factory docs. XML bean factory docs, guys. Okay. Look at the methods. All are inherited method. Taking resource object, and another container, parent bean container, another container kind of thing. Okay, there is no provision to pass multiple Spring Bean configuration files at a time. I want to work with more than one Spring Bean configuration file at a time. Next, D. Okay. The Spring Beans given to this class will be passed to default listable bean factory internally, while to register them as, to recognize them. 1 minute. The classes given to this class. The classes given to this class. This class means this XML bean factory will be passed to default listable bean factory internally to recognize them as Spring Bean. Okay, Spring Bean. So better to use Array XML bean factory alternate is default listable bean factory, guys. So better to use default listable bean factory class directly to create a Spring container. Directly to create a Spring container. Are you understanding my statement, guys? This is A, boss. This is B. This is C. This is D. So these are the reasons, guys. Already we felt it's a deprecated, but I'm adding other reasons also. I hope you convinced with the reasons why we should not use XML bean factory. Sir, then why did you use so far? It's very easy to create container by using XML bean factory. Default listable bean factory is bit heavy one, right? Okay, process is bit heavy. That's why first I have given simple one. Look at the hierarchy of this. If you look at the hierarchy of this is the hierarchy. If you look at the hierarchy of this is the hierarchy. Default listable bean factory and XML bean factory. Array, whatever alternate I am saying, and that alternate is super class for XML bean factory. I hope you noticed that, guys. Right, and that is this one. Now you open the documentation of that default listable bean factory. Okay, tell me. Strings default implementation, full-fledged factory-based bean definition, metadata extensile. This one. Okay, now listen. For an alternate implementation of this listable bean factory, look at static listable bean factory which manage existing beans rather than creating new ones. No, I'm not talking about that. Default listable bean factory. 1 minute. Yeah, listen. Typical usage is registering all bean definition first before processing. Bean lookup name, therefore, inexpensive operation via local bean definition table, operating and pre-resolved bean definition metadata. Just a minute. I will go to XML only. I'll go to XML only. Here only they have given. Check it out, check it out, check it out. For advanced need, consider using default. I was searching for this statement. Using default listable bean factory with an XML definition reader. The latter allows reading from multiple XML resources and highly configurable its actual XML parsing behavior. So highly configurable in its what? XML parsing behavior. Okay, next. This class register each bean definition with the default listable bean factory superclass and relies on later implementation of bean factory interface and a number of other things that I have given. Okay, see, they only saying we are in the XML bean factory and they are asking us to use what? Okay, default listable bean factory. I hope you convinced it, guys. Okay, right. Now listen. Creating, this is different, guys. Creating bean factory container using default listable bean factory class. Using default listable bean factory class, guys. How to do that? Let's see, guys. First of all, default listable bean factory is equal to new default listable bean factory. I created object for this one. It's empty one, guys. Okay. Still, it is not linked with any XML file. Are you noticing it? Yeah. Now, XML bean definition reader. Okay. XML bean definition reader. See, guys, listen. Actually, XML bean factory is the subclass of default listable bean factory. That means initially they thought of using XML bean factory, but they found some limitation. That's why they said, don't use subclass, move back to the superclass. Don't use subclass, move back to the superclass. That means they released a new thing, somehow not succeeded. That's why they said, don't use the new thing. We thought it would be good, but somehow went wrong. Okay, please move back to the old one. XML bean definition reader. This is responsible to read the XML file, guys. New XML bean definition reader. New XML bean definition reader of factory. Yeah, this reader is linked with the fan. This reader is linked with container, guys. This reader is linked with the container. Tell me next. Reader dot load bean definitions. Reader dot load bean definitions. Tell me here. You have to specify, give the name and location of the Spring Bean configuration file. Observe this. Overloaded form is also there. 3 dots resources. 3 dots resources. Are you observing it, guys? 3 dots location, Varox. That means there is a possibility of passing multiple Spring Bean configuration files or not. Reader dot load bean definitions. Here we can pass it. By default, it search everything from the class path, guys. Right now, only one is there. So what should I do? com/nt/ cfz/ application context.xml. com/nt/cfz/ application context.xml. Create IOC container. Nice. Okay, guys. Tell me setter injection test, guys. Yeah, I think other day we changed configure. I think not changed it seems. In this project, we have not changed it. Check it out. In this project, we have not changed it, guys. Create IOC container in the bracket bean factory container. Save it was setter injection test. 0 param constructor set date. Everything is happening or not? This is the code, guys. This is the code. Sir, 3 lines code it is, sir. A bit heavy was, no doubt. Sir, I'm not getting here. How factory is reading XML file? Array, first container created, empty one. Reader is linked with container. Reader is reading XML file means indirectly reader can make the associated factory object reading what? Reader can make the associated factory object reading Spring Bean configuration file or not. So it's something like this, guys, something like this. Basically, this is my A reader object. This reader is linked with what, guys? Factory object. Okay, guys. Reader. Reader object. Okay. This is factory object. Now tell me. Now to the reader we are linking. Array, to the reader we are linking Spring Bean configuration file. Okay. Application context.xml. Application context.xml. Here is the dot dot dot. Here is the dot dot dot. Application context.xml. Okay, guys. Tell me, guys. Load, send, reads. Spring Bean configuration file. Okay, guys. Now listen carefully. This file content is read by whom? Reader object. In memory metadata is created by reader object and will be hand over to container. Array, everything is done by reader object. In the reader object, factory object is there. So indirectly, factory object also can read content from Spring Bean configuration file or not. Can read content from Spring Bean configuration file or not. I want reply. I want reply, guys. Are you understanding my statement, my dear? It looks very different here, but if you try to link up, you get the feeling reader is reading XML file, factory is not reading. Array, inside the reader only factory is there, ra babu. So indirectly factory is reading or not. Your father is earning money means your father only can spend money, if entire family members can spend money. Entire family members can spend money, right? Why? Because father is taking care of entire family. Because the father is taking care of entire family. Got the point, guys? Okay, guys. Advantages of super never uses sub uses this one. Okay, inside the reader in memory metadata will be there, which will be used by factory object, which is nothing but container. Superclass never uses subclass. Subclass uses superclass. Inside reader object in memory. Okay, who is this? Tushar, factory is only responsible for facility by XML Bean factory. Sorry. Right. Tell me, boss, advantages of creating Bean factory container. Bean factory container using default listable bean factory. Default listable bean factory. Next, not deprecated in any version. Not a deprecated class in any version of Spring API. Spring API. B. Okay, B. provides more good XML parsing capacity. Sir, what is your reference for this statement? Check it out. Okay, check it out. XML resources, and it's highly configurable in its actual XML parsing behavior. And its actual XML parsing behavior, because we are directly dealing with what class, guys? XML bean definition reader. Okay, provides more good XML parsing capacity. Okay, now tell me here, I am passing Spring Bean configuration file as a string value or as a resource object? As a string value. Allows to pass Spring Bean configuration file name and location as a string value. As a string value. Next, guys. Allows to pass multiple Spring Bean configuration files at a time. Okay, using Varrock's support given in load XML file. Load bean definitions, load bean definitions method. Yes, guys. No, we have a provision to pass resource object, guys. But when there is a provision to pass, okay, load bean definition method. We have that provision or not, guys? Yes. Okay. Overloaded forms are there. One form is there taking resource object, no doubt in that. Next, E, guys. Okay. E. It is industry standard class. Industry standard class to create Bean Factory IOC container. It is industry standard class to create Bean Factory IOC container, guys. Yeah, whatever problems I said with XML Bean Factory class, all those problems are solved or not solved, guys? Definitely solved or not. So now onward, forget about one line code to create IOC container. Start writing 3 lines code. Start writing 3 lines code to create IOC container. This is the best. Okay. So already I have given that code to you people. Remaining all are same. Factory.getBean is not changed. Remaining stuff is not changed, guys. Right? Okay. All these are improvisations towards what? Our first applications, boss. Okay. All these are improvisation towards our first application. Okay. A few more points are there. Then I will go to a main discussion. Design patterns. Okay. First of all, let me show that. What are the points? Close all editors, guys. Okay. Application context.xml. Okay. This is the bean property name. This is the bean ID of the other Spring Bean, right? Okay. Technically speaking, the name that we are passing in name attribute of property tag, name attribute of property tag is not what is that? Okay, property name, guys. That is XXX word in the set XXX method. XXX word in the set XXX method. You are not believing me, na? Okay, set date 1, I said. Now, here I have still passed date only by assuming we are passing that. Actually, that is for set injection, a triple X word in set triple X method. Check it out. Okay. Java application. See, invalid property date of bean class. Bean property date is not writable as an invalid setter method. Did you mean date one? Actually, taking like this is wrong. But technically speaking, what you are passing here is not the property name. What we are passing here is what? Triple X word of set triple X method. Triple X word of set triple X method. I hope you understood my statement, guys. Super. Okay, now what I pass is date one. Setter injection test, guys. Are you understanding my statement, my dear? Got the clarity? Super, boss. Yes, tell me. In the name attribute of property tag, in the name attribute of property tag, what we are, property tag, that perform setter injection, what we are passing is, what we are passing is, what guys? Is not the bean property name. It is actually triple X word of set triple X method. It is actually triple X word of set triple X method, guys. Yes, boss. Okay. Same statement I can give in one more way, guys. Triple X word of set triple X method, guys. No, you have to pass in lower case only. Triple X, set triple X, the first X is like capital, but here is lower case. Tell me, what is the next one to focus, guys? Right. And one more statement of similar kind, guys. One more statement of similar kind. 1 minute. Go to constructor injection, my dear. Yes, got it. So there, one param constructor is there, na? Okay. Right. Parameter name is date one. Date one. Okay. Go to XML file. Go to Spring Bean configuration file. Yeah. Go to Spring Bean configuration file. Look at this. Name date I have passed. Name date I have passed. Okay. Generally, we thought that we are passing property name, but actually that is not property name. That is a param name, guys. Seriously, sir. Yeah, check it out. What we are passing in constructor injection, name attribute is what? Not the property name. Technically speaking, that is. Oh, it's saying that file not found exception. No, that is not the reason, guys. Oh, why it is saying file not found? Because other day we changed the entire system now. Fine, no problem. Okay, this is the one I have to activate. This is the one I have to activate. Don't worry. Constructor injection. Exception has come. What is the exception, guys? Okay, did you specify correct bean references argument? Okay. Error creating bean. Error creating bean. Yeah, no, actually we have WMG, all this stuff, guys. But still error has come. So here I mentioned date one. I mentioned date one. Check it out. Now it's coming or not? Now it's coming or not? Come on, my dear. What do you say, boss? It's happening or not happening? Okay. So that means what we are passing in the name attribute of, in the name attribute of constructor hyphen arg tag that performs constructor injection. What we are passing is not bean property name, that is actually tell me, that is actually okay, that is actually constructor parameter name. Constructor parameter name. That is actually constructor parameter name. So I'm talking about this stuff, guys. Yes, boss. Property name is equal to date, ref is equal to dt. Yes, I'm seriously talking about this. Next, constructor hyphen arg name is equal to date, ref is equal to dt. This is also right, boss. Comfortable, my dear? Right. Okay. Now listen carefully. Okay. IOC container. IOC container uses. IOC container uses. Tell me. Zero param constructor to create Spring Bean class object. To create Spring Bean class object, if the Spring Bean is configured without injection or only with setter injection. Convinced, guys? Come on, my dear. Next, uses parameterized constructor to create Spring Bean class object. Okay, Spring Bean class object. If Spring Bean is configured, with constructor injection. Constructor injection. Constructor injection. Everyone clear on this point, guys? Come on. See the beauty of Spring container, guys. You take servlet container, EJB container, JSP container. Whenever they create object, they are just capable of what? Creating object using zero param constructor. But Spring container specialty you observe, it is ready to create object using zero param constructor. It is even capable of creating object using parameterized constructor. So flexible or not? So strong and so flexible, right? In future, I will show Spring container is even capable of creating certain object by calling factory methods. by calling factory method. So much variety is possible, right? Can we see IOC container? Okay. Bharat Kumar, every day what you are using is it is not IOC container. Bharat Kumar, actually I should scold you, but I'm laughing at you. Sorry to say. Internally, I'm laughing at you like anything. Container is also one class, Ra Babu. Object created for container. That class object created container. Object created for that class activates the container. Bharat Kumar, are you genuine student? Can you tell me when this batch is started? I'm giving 1 minute time. If your reply comes, you are inside the classroom. Otherwise, you will be outside the class. On which day this batch is started, including month? 10th March. Okay, how many times I said container is a class or program that takes the resources, other life cycle of the other resources, right? That will take care of entire life cycle of the given resources. Spring containers are lightweight. By just creating object for one class, we can activate the IOC container. Yeah. Okay. Now you want to see this object? Okay. Can you see objects that are there in JVM memory? Forget about this object. Any other object you can see? Any? Forget about this. Date class object I created. Can you see in the JVM memory? Muddy fellow. After the class, please jump into the drain, not in a normal water. Every day you are using container. I am writing these many times container lines. Okay. What I am misunderstood, Ra? First you, can we see container? You asked. Then what you are using daily? Muddy fellow. You misunderstood my question. First, what is your question you recollect? This is what I pasted to everyone also. Can we see IOC container? Now covering now. Okay. No object can be seen. Object we can feel. We cannot see. Object we can feel. What we are seeing is only reference variable. Object is JVM memory level thing. Can we see the JVM memory level things? Only through reference variable we are pointing to object and we are getting it, right? Okay. We can feel the air. We can feel the hawa, but we cannot see the hawa, right? The same thing. Okay. All these are logical assumptions only. Fine. Let's not waste time on that fellow. Okay. IOC container uses all this stuff, guys. Okay. JVM uses zero param constructor while creating object with a new operator. If you don't pass arguments while creating object, if you ask me, show me, that means what can I do? Muddy fellows. Right, guys. Let it be. Let it be. Now, let's come back to the subject. Yeah. Very popular interview question, guys. Can I place private constructor? Private constructor. In fact, to make it more complex, only private constructor in Spring Bean class. Can I place only private constructor in Spring Bean class? Can I place only private constructor in Spring Bean class? First of all, tell me, if class is having private constructor, can we create object of that class outside the class? No. IOC container is outside the Spring Bean class or inside the Spring Bean class? IOC container is outside the Spring Bean class or inside the Spring Bean class? IOC container resides outside the Spring Bean class or inside the Spring Bean class? The people who are saying inside, please hang yourself after the class. Please hang yourself after the class. You are good for nothing, muddy fellows. Sorry to use these words. Array, this is Spring Bean class, wish message generator, and I am creating what? IOC container in the another class main method, and you are saying what? IOC container is inside the Spring Bean class. Muddy fellow, container maintains Spring Beans ra. Spring Bean does not maintain IOC container ra. Waste fellows. Who awarded you engineering certificates to you people run? Muddy fellows. No logical thinking at all. Container maintains Spring Bean class objects, right? Spring Bean class is always outside the container, right? Container starts maintaining, right, boss? So Spring Bean maintains IOC container. No. Spring Bean class is always an individual class, right? It's a third party class belonging to different APIs. Please, guys, Java, Spring, Hibernate, microservice, all these are okay. But if common sense is not there, no one can help you, boss. Most important thing while attending my classes to become something in life is common sense. Okay. Right. Come back. Yeah. Tell me, guys, IOC container is always outside the Spring Bean class. No doubt in that. Clear na? Okay. But if class is having private constructor, do you think can we create object of that class outside the class? No. But IOC container is also outside the Spring Bean class. So can I place only private constructor in the Spring Bean class? Tell me answer. Can I place only private constructor in the Spring Bean class? Answer is surprisingly different answer, guys. Answer is yes. Yes, because IOC container, that is interesting. IOC container internally uses reflection API. Reflection API. Okay. To get access to private constructor and to create object for it. To get access to private constructor, and to create object for it. Seriously, sir, that means using reflection API, we can create object for private classes. Sorry, class V is having private constructor. Yes. Using reflection API. We can get access to private constructor and we can create object for it. And we can create objects for it. Objects for it outside the class. So, so we can say Java is not giving. Okay, not giving 100% encapsulation. Okay, 100% encapsulation. Even private variables also possible, guys. Encapsulation. Okay, that's why if someone asks you, is Java pure object oriented? No, just object oriented. We cannot say it's not pure object oriented. We cannot say it's not secure, guys. Security is towards dot class file tampering, JVM, those things. You don't link this one with security, please. Java is not, so we can say Java is not giving 100% right, boss. Okay. Final class is already available. What you access, my dear. Okay. That means Java is not, okay, 100, he is not pure object oriented. It is object oriented, but we cannot say it's a pure object oriented. Yeah, there are many reasons to say it is not pure object oriented. It is just, still we are having simple data types, right? Simple data type variables are objects, no. Do you think simple data type variables are objects? Okay, right, boss. Somehow IOC container has taken that privilege. We have wrapper classes, but is there any guarantee you won't use simple data types? What do you mean by pure object oriented, right? Everything should be object. Is there any guarantee you won't use simple data types in your application? Is there any guarantee if you use simple data type variable, it will become object in future? Then how can you say everything is object? You cannot say everything is an object, right? Other day we have taken one project to teach core Java basics. Remembered? Okay. Is not pure object oriented. Yes, boss. Now tell me here, what is there? Core Java basics, boss. This is my test class, boss. This is my test class. I placed private. I placed private. I placed private. Cool, guys. File save as reflection API private access instantiation. Reflection API private access instantiation. I comment these things, guys. Okay. Venkat Urkuti, you are not allowed to continue from this batch, guys. If you already know Spring, continue. Otherwise, don't continue. Wait for the next batch. Okay, boss. Talk to admin for remaining details. Yeah, try, guys. If you know Spring basics, you can continue. No problem. Test T is equal to new test of. Test T is equal to new test of. See, compile time error is coming. Compile time error is coming now, boss. Unresolved compilation error. Why? Because constructor test is not visible. Right. This is invalid now, boss. Invalid. Invalid. Okay, let it be. Now come to through reflection API. I'm commenting this. Loading the class. Fine. I'll try to pass test at runtime. Cool. Leave it. Next, trying to create the object. Trying to create the object. That's a one level. Loading the getting all the constructors, super. Trying to create object using zero param constructor, that is another level. Loading the class, okay. Trying to get using what? Trying to use what? Second two param constructor to create object and printing the object. Okay. But listen you carefully, my dear. Here itself you will get error. Where, guys? Here itself you will get error. Why? Because we are trying to attempt to create object for a class who is having private constructor. Got the point or not? Super, boss. Tell me, a reflection API. See this? Oh, it is expecting to pass what? Command line arguments. Fine. Run configurations, guys. Okay. What is the class name, my dear? com.nt.test, if I am not wrong. Say, click on run. Yeah, class not found. Array, what is the name, guys? com.nt.test.test. Okay, fine. I'll take myself. Okay, right. com.nt.test.test. Apply, run. Illegal access. What it is saying, my dear? Illegal access. Illegal access. Did you notice that? Now listen. Illegal access. Kalyan, you have a lot of time to waste. Why are you playing with other paint things? Don't waste your time. Listen, Ra Babu, listen. Okay. Now listen, guys. Loading class. In this technique, not possible to create using private constructor. That's why I'm removing it. But in this technique, possible, guys. Okay, this is in this technique possible. Only the technique is very simple. CONS of 0 dot. It represents 0 param constructor na boss. Set accessible true. Set accessible true. Here also. CONS of 1. Set accessible true. Set accessible true. Got the point, guys? Created. Though my class is having private constructor. Did you notice this? Did you notice this? Private. That means we are able to access private data outside the class or not? Yes. With the support of reflection API. We are seriously using that. We are seriously using that. IOC container also doing exactly same, guys. IOC container also will do exactly same. Okay, first let me give this sample code. Okay, first sample code, guys. Yeah. Sample code. Set accessible is one method, Ra Babu. Set accessible true. Sham Kumar study completely, madam. Sham Kumar. Okay. Set accessible true. Give me access. In the method name only meaning is there, na Sham Kumar. Set accessible true. Give me access, right? On which object we called? Constructor object. So that means what? Though we don't have access to constructor, we are getting access to constructor. CONS of 0 represents what, guys? 0 param constructor. 1 represents what? 1 param constructor. So what we are asking, give me access. Though access is not there, give me access. Got it? Array Spring people somehow somehow used reflection API, and there is a side effect of that reflection API, guys. Side effect of using reflection API, no doubt in that. Cool. What is the things I should highlight here? This is the one thing. This is the another thing I should highlight. Okay. CONS of 0 set accessible true. CONS of 1 set accessible true. Okay, I am creating object. Here also I am creating object. Okay, guys. IOC container also uses zero param constructor internally. Sorry, also uses reflection API. Reflection API internally to get access to zero param constructor and to create Spring Bean class objects. Though Spring Bean class is having zero param constructor. Though Spring Bean class is having zero param constructor. The internal code is what code, guys? The internal code is CNS of 0 represents index, but in which order the constructors are there, in the same order indexes will are decided. Remember, Taranga Geeta madam, everyday fresh day na madam. Though class is having private constructor. Other day what I said, guys? Test class. Okay, in which order constructors are there, in the same order array elements will come in the constructor class object array. Remembered? Okay, first 0 param, then 2 param. CONS of 0 represents 0 param constructor. CONS of 1 represents 1 param constructor. I hope you remembered all these points other day, right? Super, guys. Now tell me here, what is there? Constructor injection, guys. Test.java. Now I have to give reflection API internal one, right? Okay. Fine. Internal code is class C is equal to class dot for name, com dot nt dot beans dot wish message generate, load the class. What, guys? Load the class. Next, get access to constructors of the class of the loaded class. Constructors of the loaded class. Tell me. Constructor CONS of 0 array is equal to C dot get declared constructors. C dot get declared constructors. Yes, guys. Next. C dot get declared constructors, guys. Tell me next one. Create create objects. 1 minute. First of all, get access to private constructor. Private constructor. Tell me guys, cons of 0 dot set accessible true. This is most important line, guys. Right. Create object. Create object. What is that? Wish message generator. Wish message generator. Generator is equal to, come on, wish message generator of. Tell me, what is there, guys? C dot new instance of. So, no, cons of 0 dot new instance of. cons of 0 dot new instance of. Like this object will be created or not? 1 minute. But first of all, let me give the feeling that is practical and reality. This is having reality. Okay. To prove that, I want to take private constructor. Here also private thing I will take. Here also I will take private thing, guys. Now come here. Set rejection test, guys. Any problem towards creating object, my dear? Any problem towards creating object, my dear? Is there any problem towards the... okay. Let us assume wish message generator is having private constructor. Let us assume wish message generator class is having okay 0 param private constructor. Okay, guys. Right, guys. Array, this code we already introduced it on Aina. Only this is extra. Yes, na boss? It's not like that we are learning for the first time. Are we learning this thing for the first time? Only this line is extra, my dear. But thing is, they don't digest it. I know that. They don't digest it because in core Java levels, your mindset is private means inside the class, inside the object, cannot be used outside the class, outside the object, right? But we are breaking it. Okay, breaking it. Naina means like someone is asking who is Naina. No, it's not a name or it's not a I. Okay, oh my dad kind of thing. It's like what is that? It's like what? First time, you are listening first time, yeah, it's like a bopre kind of thing, or pay attention kind of thing. Yes, pay attention. It's nowhere related to name of a person. It's nowhere related to eyes. It's like a flow statement word belonging to Telugu. Right, guys? Fine. Yeah, pay attention. You can say it as a catchphrase, right? A catchphrase which talks about pay attention kind of. Yeah, can you come back to the subject? It's not security breach, wow. Security is towards dot class tampering and other things. It is only access encapsulation related problem. That's it. Right. Okay. I think you got the clarity. Okay, sir. For constructor, I am able to take private. Can I take setter method private for setter injection? Okay. Setter method private for setter injection. Right, boss. Right, boss. Now let's have a look, guys. Setter injection test. It's not allowing. Invalid property date one. It is not allowing. It is not allowing. Only constructor level it is having that provision. Okay, we cannot. Can we take the setter method of setter injection as private method? Can we take the setter method of setter injection as private method? Answer. The setter method of setter injection as private method. Tell me, guys, answer. Not possible. Not possible. Somehow, okay, Spring's IOC container is not using reflection API to get access to private setter methods. Private setter methods. Convinced, my dears? Got the clarity, my dears? Come on. Super. Right. Okay. Yeah, these are the various improvisation, various observation related to first application, guys. Tell me, day to day, your confidence is increasing or not increasing? See, these many things we improvise with respect to first application. Okay, lot of internal scam or not. Okay, somehow IOC container is not designed to access private constructor. Okay, design patterns, guys. Design patterns. Okay. Array, Spring related design pattern I will discuss here. If you are looking for core Java related design pattern, okay, JWE pattern, so microservice pattern, there are separate courses for it. Got it, got it. So the relevant design pattern that comes while learning Spring Boot microservices, I will talk here. But exclusively design pattern course is also there. Okay. Exclusive design pattern course is also there, where we study more and more details about design pattern in that particular course. There we study, actually two courses are there, boss. Two courses are there. One course is on Java JWE patterns. Okay. Another, another one is what? Another one is microservice pattern. But relevant pattern that are required in Spring, we will cover in Spring itself. Spring Boot itself. Got it? Okay. Super. Yeah. Design pattern. Listen carefully, guys. Yeah, right now, just now, by today, one batch will be completed. We'll plan new batch. We will let you know. Okay. Right, boss. Design patterns. Yeah, by seeing the word, listen, guys. By seeing the word design, lots of people thinks that it's nowhere related to project development. It's a purely related to it's a purely related to designing phase of the project. No, that's wrong. Okay, that's really wrong, guys. Yeah, first of all, we'll try to understand what is pattern. What is pattern, boss? Repeatedly occurring is called pattern, right? Date pattern, time pattern. Indians give date in what? DD, MM, YY. Chinese will give date value in what pattern? 4 wise MMDD, right? So pattern means something that is repeatedly occurring. Okay, design pattern. Array, there are repeatedly occurring problems, guys. Listen carefully. There are repeatedly occurring problems. Okay. And design patterns are designed as a solution for those repeatedly occurring problems. Are you understanding my point, guys? If we code in a certain pattern, certain problems will come. So we need to have a solution for it. The solution that is designed that for a repeatedly occurring problem is called a design pattern. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Design patterns are set of rules that are given as best solution for recurring problems of application development. Best solution as best solutions for recurring problems of application development. Okay, design patterns are best practices. Design patterns are best practices to develop software applications effectively, guys. Now listen. Design pattern is not a separate programming language or technology or framework. Come on, guys. Okay. It can be implemented. 1 minute. They can be implemented. They can be implemented in any object-oriented programming language. Okay, in any object-oriented programming language. Design patterns are very important, guys. Okay, if you want to just become programmer, design patterns are not required. But if you want to become expertise programmer, okay, excellent programmer, you should learn, okay, you should learn your courses along with the design pattern. Because design pattern says what are the recurring problems, what are the solution for those problems. It makes you better programmer. So far, what is your target, guys? Giving input, getting output, writing code for that. Yes, no? But now onwards, after learning design pattern, while learning design pattern, your target is not giving input, getting output by writing code. Your target is, okay, your target is when you write this code, how much memory it is consuming. Can it be reduced or not? How many CPU time it is consuming? Can it be reduced or not? If multiple components are talking to each other, whether they are tightly coupled with each other or not, loosely coupled or not, you will consider a number of factors while writing the code after having knowledge of design patterns. After having knowledge of design patterns, guys. That's why they are called what? Best solutions for recurring problems of application development. Since object-oriented programming is introduced 30-35 years back, people noticed so many problems in that, and they have given solution for those problems. And the documentation of those solutions, release it to the market as what? Design patterns. Release it to the market as design patterns, so that next generation people, instead of getting same problems, They can apply these solutions. Come on. They can apply these solution and they can develop their application. They can develop their projects more effectively. More effectively. Are you understanding my statement there or not, guys? Are you understanding my statement there or not there? Come on. Enjoyed my statement, my dear? Okay. Now listen. You are feeling angry. You are feeling angry. What is the solution? Eating food. Eating food or putting the food in the stomach, right? Putting the food in the stomach. Yeah. How many ways are there? How many ways are there putting the stomach in the food? Okay, open the stomach through surgery, put the food. Number one. Number two, okay, keep the saline bottle to your body. Aisa no na? Keep the saline bottle to your body. Okay, but one more way is there. Take the food with a hand or spoon, put it in the mouth. Okay, put it in the mouth, chew it properly. Come on, guys. Chew it properly, then swallow it. Tell me, guys, though there are three ways of putting food into the stomach, what is the best way of, guys? Last one is the best way or not? So can we say, okay, the last way is the design pattern or not? Can we say the last way is the design pattern or not? It is not just a solution, it is the best solution, right? Okay. I'll take one more technical example, guys. I have a class, no state. People are creating 100 to 100 objects in different situations and using them. Someone noticed, array worst fellow, in Java, object creation is a costly affair. That to all your objects having no state. That means all your objects are identical objects without state. Why are you creating those many objects from muddy fellow? Create one object, use it for a lot of times. So now you are saving what? CPU utilization time. You are saving the memory wastage or not? Memory wastage is avoided. And that too in Java, object creation is a costly affair, guys. Lot of memory and lot of CPU time is required for object creation. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Right, guys. I'll talk much about design patterns. I'll talk. Okay. The worst solution for a reoccurring problem is called anti-pattern. The worst solution for recurring problem is called anti-pattern, boss. Okay, anti-pattern. Super, guys. Best solution is design pattern. Worst solution is solution, but it's not a great solution. Is called anti-pattern. Now tell me, guys. Seniors are subject experts documented both problems and solutions. Both problems and solution. Solution including design patterns and anti-patterns. Why, sir? Why anti-patterns also they documented, guys? Simple reason, Babu. You got your own thought. You thought it's a great solution. If documentation is there, it is not design pattern, it is an anti-pattern, then you will try to think why my solution is not a great solution, right? Including design patterns and anti-pattern and anti-pattern. Okay. They also And they also released pattern catalogs. What guys? Catalogs. Array, when you go to electronic showroom, the showroom is having 3,000 items. Okay, are you going to see each and every item? No, you will take a catalog and you are looking to purchase TV na. In the TV, you are looking to purchase LCD TV of 56 inches na. In that category only you will see, right? Okay, that's why these people also released some pattern catalogs, guys. They have released. They also released pattern catalogs to the market. Okay, to the market. Market or public domain. Public domain. Yes. Popular pattern catalogs. Okay, popular pattern catalogs in Java domain are okay. Yeah, gang of 4 patterns. Gang GOF guys, gang of 4 patterns. So generally core patterns, guys. Core patterns. 4 people together formed as a group, guys. That group name is gang of 4 patterns, guys. Okay, it covers what? Core patterns. Core patterns, guys. Okay, next I will explain much about these things in tomorrow's session. Next, B, JWE patterns. JWE patterns, guys. Okay, for layered applications. Core patterns for standalone application. Generally, these are used standalone application. Array, your singleton comes under gang of 4 pattern. Front controller, composite view, okay. Servlet JSP related patterns comes under JWE patterns. Okay, boss. Next, C. Nowadays, we are having microservices pattern. For microservice architecture, guys. Yes, I didn't talk what is microservice architecture. Don't worry. One find I will learn. Architecture for microservice architecture application, for layered application. These are the 3 popular pattern catalogs in Java. If you learn these 3 patterns end to end, your design pattern knowledge is complete. If you learn only gang of 4 pattern, you are the best way, best way of developing standalone application. If you learn only JWE pattern, best way of developing layered applications. Okay. If you learn microservice pattern, you know how to use microservice architecture in a best way. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Kiran, who said object can take 1 request at a time? That's your wrong feeling. Object can handle multiple requests at a time. Our servlet class objects. Okay. Sravanti madam, list of patterns I will talk in design pattern class. Fine. Right, guys. Okay. I think you got the clarity, boss. Our servlet class object can take 1 request at a time or multiple requests simultaneously. Multiple requests simultaneously. Kiran Kumar, you are in a wrong psychological feeling. Object can handle 1 request at a time. Come out of that. Object can handle 1 request, 1 thread only when it is synchronized. Only when it is synchronized object. In normal situation, that problem is not there, right? Super, guys. Which patterns we study? Array, we study those patterns of Ganga for JWE microservices, which are related to our Spring Boot, and microservice learning process. Spring Boot, and microservice learning process. Okay, don't expect all Ganga 4 will be taught, all JWP will be taught, all microservice patterns will be taught, which are related to our current learning process, they will be taught. Understanding my statement, guys? Right. But you will be getting good amount of knowledge of design patterns. But if you are looking for complete knowledge, end-to-end knowledge of design pattern, so you have to think about taking separate course called design patterns. Got the point, guys? Thank you. So I'm preparing background to launch a second application development that is nothing but strategy design pattern. What, guys? Strategy design pattern. Next class will be on Monday. Thank you. Have a nice time.